Well, welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and hopefully you like this video. So in this video, we're going to talk about the top prospects in the Mets system. The Mets prospects this year, and a lot of the Met minor leagues have had major advances in their status over this past season. A lot of guys have stayed healthy. A lot of the Mets everyday players in the minor leagues have stayed healthy. You know, Jet Williams, Jacob Reimer, Drew Gilbert until he got traded. The guys have done a great job in the minor leagues, and I'm going to get into this. And really, players are getting on these top 100 lists. I was very surprised by 6 Mets that are on ESPN's top 100. Now, the Mets farm system at the beginning of the season was like in the middle of the pack, and now they're about 7th. I mean, some lists have them at number 7 as the 7th best farm system in baseball. Let's get into it. This is from Mets. 6 Mets prospects crack ESPN's top 100. With the MLB draft and trade deadline both now passed, ESPN's Kylie McDaniel has updated his 2025 in-season top 100 MLB prospects, and the list includes 6 Mets prospects. Number 18, Jet Williams. He's a shortstop. After a great AA campaign in Binghamton, the Mets recently promoted him to AAA Syracuse earlier this month. Prior to his promotion, Williams was hitting .281 for a .390 on-base percentage, .477 slugging percentage with an .867 OPS with the Rumble Ponies. He had struck for 29 doubles, 5 triples, 10 home runs, walked 62 times, driving in 37 runs, and had 70 runs scored. He also showed off his speed with 32 stolen bases. Back in July, the 21-year-old was the only player in minor league baseball with 10-plus homers, 25-plus doubles, and 25-plus steals. He ranked top 5 in AA as well for runs scored, extra base hits, OPS, and slug. He has been splitting his time between short, second, and center field. Since his promotion to Syracuse, Williams has continued his hot streak, hitting .286 with a .333 on base and a .500 slugging percentage with an .833 OPS. He's 8 for 28 with a double, triple, home run, RBI, 2 walks, and 4 runs scored. But keep in mind that 2 years ago, he had over 100 walks, and that was the most by a Mets minor league player since 2003, I think, by David Wright. So he's in good company in the minor leagues. At number 19, Nolan McClean, and we saw him on Saturday, pitched really well for the Mets, but after going 8-5 with a 2.45 ERA and 127 strikeouts and a whip of 1.13 through 113 2/3 innings, McClean got the call on Friday that he was going to the big leagues. On Saturday, 24-year-old from Willow Spring, North Carolina, made his major league debut, and it was one to remember. He pitched a scoreless 5 1/3 innings, giving up just 2 hits, walking 4, and striking out 8. He picked up the win in his debut and could stay in the Mets rotation. He's not going anywhere. Hopefully, he pitches well in Atlanta. That could be a little rough down there for the Mets and their pitching staff. Number 21, Jonah Tong, right-handed pitcher. Tong is also having a phenomenal 2025 season. Along with Williams, after soaring to AA, he found himself packing his bags to head to Syracuse earlier this month. During his time with AA Binghamton, he was 8-5 with a 1.59 ERA and 162 strikeouts through 102 innings. He had a whip of 0.92. In his first start with Syracuse on Saturday, he picked up right where he left off. He threw 5 2/3 innings, giving up just 3 hits, a walking 2, and striking out 9. Earned his first AAA win along the way. According to Matthew Brownstein of Mesmerized, among 112 pitchers who have 100 innings pitched in the minor leagues this season, Tong currently ranks first in ERA, first in strikeout percentage, first in FIP, first in batters batting average against him, second in whip, second in swing, I don't know what that abbreviation is, and 6th in ground ball percentage. I also mentioned he has the most strikeouts in the minor leagues of any pitcher. He was a pitcher that has come from out of nowhere because he was like a 7th round pick in 2022, pitched terribly 2 years ago in the low A minus for the Mets, and then started coming on last year. Number 27, Carson Bench, outfielder. Bench, the Mets' first round draft pick from 2024. Number 19 overall from the school of Oklahoma State, was having a great season in the minor leagues before an unlucky injury sidelined him on Saturday. Oh boy, that's not good. He had He had just been a part of the group of prospects called up to AAA Syracuse when in his fourth game with the team, he went down with an injury that has him now on the 7-day injured list. Prior to that, Bench had spent the first part of the season with High A Brooklyn, where he batted 320. Didn't have the average here. Well, anyway, upon being called up to AA Binghamton, he continued to hit the ball well, hitting .317. After 32 games in AA, just a year after being drafted, the 22-year-old found himself just one step away from the big leagues with a call-up to AAA Syracuse. Prior to going on the injury list, he was batting .250 with a .650 OPS. He was 3 for 12 with 2 runs scored. He didn't have enough time. I don't have the injury here. I don't think it's a major injury. Number 74 on this list, A.J. Ewing. He's new to this list. He's new to a lot of lists. Outfielder, second baseman. Drafted in 23, Ewing has found himself cruising through the minor leagues here in 2025. The left-handed batter has progressed from low A St. Lucie to AA Binghamton this season. Over that time, he has stolen 61 bases and been caught only 9 times. The 21-year-old has played all 3 outfield spots in 13 games at second this year. He's drafted as a shortstop. That's why it's always important to draft shortstops, because they can play anywhere. During his time with St. Lucie, he was hitting .400 for a huge 1121 OPS. He had 3 doubles, 4 triples, 1 home run, 20 runs batted in, 15 runs scored. He also walked 15 times and stole 14 bases. Upon being called up to High A Brooklyn, he continued to progress well, hitting .288 with a .775 OPS. He had 16 doubles, 4 triples, 2 home runs, drove in 26, and had 52 runs scored. He stole 44 bases with Brooklyn. Ewing was called up to AA Binghamton earlier in August. Through 7 games of the team, he's hitting .233 with a .303 on-base percentage for a .603 OPS. He has a double, 1 RBI, 4 runs scored, and has 3 stolen bases. He's an unknown. It's hard to sort of know where he's going to be in another year, where his value is. But he has exploded on the scene from where he was last year. Number 83, Brandon Sproat. After a rocky start to this season with AAA Syracuse, Sproat has begun to really turn things over and has impressed as of late. And then coming into the season, he's the Mets' best pitching prospect. Over the course of the season, he's 7-6 with a 4.24 ERA. Through 110 in the third innings, he has struck out 100 and a 1.23 whip. And he has given up just 87 hits and 49 walks, along with just 52 earned runs. The walk's a little high. In his most recent outing on Tuesday, Sproat struck out 8 batters in 6 innings of 1-run ball. He threw 83 pitches on Tuesday with 57. And his last 9 outings, he has a 2.05 ERA with 57 strikeouts, as things seem to be clicking for the 24-year-old from Pensacola and the former Florida Gator. And within the first 10 spots outside of the top 100, is Mets third base prospect Jacob Reimer. The 21-year-old from Redlands, California, has split the season between High A Brooklyn and AA Binghamton, where he is hitting a combined .271 with an .841 OPS. Through 103 games, he has 25 doubles, 4 triples, 14 home runs, 16 stolen bases, and 62 RBIs and 14 stolen bases. He might be the next guy to sort of take a step forward, but we'll see where he is. I would think that we'll see. The prospect promotion incentive requires players to be listed on the preseason top 100 from 2 of ESPN, Baseball, and MLB Pipeline to be eligible. While this list doesn't count towards that, it's certainly a good sign for the ESPN preseason list that comes out for next season. I mean, the fact that Mets have this many players tells you how much the Mets have taken a major step forward in their minor leagues. And the ability to develop players within the system is really paying off. But we'll see where this goes. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later. Well, welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and hopefully you like this video. So in this video, we're going to talk about the top prospects in the Mets system. The Mets prospects this year, and a lot of the Mets minor leagues have had major advances in their status over this past season. A lot of guys have stayed healthy. A lot of the Mets everyday players in the minor leagues have stayed healthy. Jet Williams, Jacob Reimer, Drew Gilbert until he got traded. The guys have done a great job in the minor leagues. And I'm going to get into this. And really, players are getting on these top 100 lists. I was very surprised by 6 Mets that are on ESPN's top 100. Now, the Mets farm system at the beginning of the season where it was like in the middle of the pack, and now they're about 7th. I mean, some lists have them at number 7 as the 7th best farm system in baseball. Let's get into it. This is from Mets. 6 Mets prospects crack ESPN's top 100. With the MLB draft and trade deadline both now passed, ESPN's Kylie McDaniel has updated his 2025 in-season top 100 MLB prospects, and the list includes 6 Mets prospects. Number 18, Jed Williams. He's a shortstop. After a great Double-A campaign in Binghamton, the Mets recently promoted him to Triple-A Syracuse earlier this month. Prior to his promotion, Williams was hitting .281 with a .390 on-base percentage, .477 slugging percentage with an .867 OPS with the Rumble Ponies. He had struck for 29 doubles, 5 triples, 10 home runs, walked 62 times, driving in 37 runs, and had 70 runs scored. He also showed off his speed with 32 stolen bases. Back in July, the 21-year-old was the only player in minor league baseball with 10-plus homers, 25-plus doubles, and 25-plus steals. He ranked top 5 in Double-A as well for runs scored, extra base hits, OPS, and slug. He has been splitting his time between short, second, and center field. Since the promotion to Syracuse, Williams has continued his hot streak, hitting .286 with a .333 on base and a .500 slugging percentage with an .833 OPS. He's 8 for 28 with a double, triple, home run, RBI, 2 walks, and 4 runs scored. We keep in mind that 2 years ago, he had over 100 walks, and that was the most by a Mets minor league player since 2003, I think, by David Wright. So he's in good company in the minor leagues. At number 19, Nolan McClean, and we saw him on Saturday, pitched really well for the Mets, but after going 8-5 with a 2.45 ERA and 127 strikeouts and a whip of 1.13 through 113 2/3 innings, McClean got the call on Friday that he was going to the big leagues. On Saturday, 24-year-old from Willow Spring, North Carolina, made his major league debut, and it was one to remember. He pitched a scoreless 5 1/3 innings, giving up just 2 hits, walking 4, and striking out 8. He picked up the win in his debut and could stay in the Mets rotation. He's not going anywhere. Hopefully, he pitches well in Atlanta. That could be a little rough down there for the Mets and their pitching staff. Number 21, Jonah Tong, right-handed pitcher. Tong is also having a phenomenal 2025 season. Along with Williams, after soaring to Double-A, he found himself packing his bags to head to Syracuse earlier this month. During his time with Double-A Binghamton, he was 8-5 with a 1.59 ERA and 162 strikeouts through 102 innings. He had a whip of 0.92. In his first start with Syracuse on Saturday, he picked up right where he left off. He did 5 2/3 innings, giving up just 3 hits, a walking 2, and striking out 9. Earned his first Triple-A win along the way. According to Matthew Brownstein of Mesmerized, among 112 pitchers who have 100 innings pitched in the minor leagues this season, Tong currently ranks first in ERA, first in strikeout percentage, first in FIP, first in batters batting average against him, second in whip, second in swing, I don't know what that abbreviation is, and 6th in ground ball percentage. I would also mention he has the most strikeouts in the minor leagues of any pitcher. He was a pitcher that has come from out of nowhere because he was like a 7th round pick in 2022, pitched terribly 2 years ago in low A minus for the Mets, and then started coming on last year. Number 27, Carson Bench, outfielder. Bench, the Mets' first round draft pick from 2024. Number 19 overall from the School of Oklahoma State, was having a great season in the minor leagues before an unlucky injury sidelined him on Saturday. Oh boy, that's not good. He had just been a part of the group of prospects called up to Triple-A Syracuse when in his 4th game with the team, he went down with an injury that has him now on the 7-day injured list. Prior to that, Bench had spent the first part of the season with High A Brooklyn, where he batted 320. It didn't have the average here. Well, anyway, upon being called up to Double-A Binghamton, he continued to hit the ball well, hitting .317. After 32 games in Double-A, just a year after being drafted, the 22-year-old found himself just one step away from the big leagues with a call-up to Triple-A Syracuse. Prior to going on the injury list, he was batting .250 with a .650 OPS. He was 3 for 12 with 2 runs scored. He didn't have enough time. I don't have the injury here. I don't think it's a major injury. Number 74 on this list, A.J. Ewing. He's new to this list. He's new to a lot of lists. Outfielder, second baseman. Drafted in 23, Ewing has found himself cruising through the minor leagues here in 2025. The left-handed batter has progressed from low A St. Lucie to double A Binghamton this season. Over that time, he has stolen 61 bases and been caught only 9 times. The 21-year-old has played all 3 outfield spots in 13 games a second this year. He's drafted as a shortstop. That's why it's always important to draft shortstops, because they can play anywhere. During his time with St. Lucie, he was hitting .400 for a huge 1121 OPS. He had 3 doubles, 4 triples, 1 home run, 20 runs batted in, 15 runs scored. He also walked 15 times and stole 14 bases. Upon being called up to High A Brooklyn, he continued to progress well, hitting .288 with a .775 OPS. He had 16 doubles, 4 triples, 2 home runs, drove in 26, and had 52 runs scored. He stole 44 bases with Brooklyn. Ewing was called up to Double A Binghamton earlier in August. Through 7 games of the team, he's hitting .233 with a .303 on base percentage for a .603 OPS. He has a double, 1 RBI, 4 runs scored, and has 3 stolen bases. He's an unknown. It's hard to sort of know where he's going to be in another year, where his value is. But he has exploded on the scene from where he was last year. Number 83, Brandon Sproat. After a rocky start to this season with AAA Syracuse, Sproat has begun to really turn things over and has impressed as of late. And then coming into the season, he's the Mets' best pitching prospect. Over the course of the season, he's 7-6 with a 4.24 ERA. Through 110 in the third innings, he has struck out 100 and a 1.23 whip. And he has given up just 87 hits and 49 walks, along with just 52 runs. The walk's a little high. In his most recent outing on Tuesday, Sproat struck out 8 batters in 6 innings of 1-run ball. He threw 83 pitches on Tuesday with 57. And his last 9 outings, has a 2.05 ERA with 57 strikeouts, as things seem to be clicking for the 24-year-old from Pensacola and the former Florida Gator. And within the first 10 spots outside of the top 100, is Mets third base prospect Jacob Reimer. The 21-year-old from Redlands, California, has split the season between High A Brooklyn and Double A Binghamton, where he is hitting a combined .271 with an .841 OPS. Through 103 games, he has 25 doubles, 4 triples, 14 home runs, 16 stolen bases, and 62 RBIs and 14 stolen bases. He might be the next guy to sort of take a step forward, but we'll see where he is. I would think that we'll see. The prospect promotion incentive requires players to be listed on the preseason top 100 from 2 of ESPN, Baseball, and MLB Pipeline to be eligible. While this list doesn't count towards that, it's certainly a good sign for the ESPN preseason list that comes out for next season. I mean, the fact the Mets have this many players tells you how much the Mets have taken a major step forward in their minor leagues. And the ability to develop players within the system is really paying off. But we'll see where this goes. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later. Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hub. We're talking about Mets prospects. We got an update for you, or I have an update for you from Mesmerized headline. Speed Demon A.J. Ewing strikes again. Now, before we get into this video, you need to hit the subscribe button, leave comments in the comment section, and watch the entirety of this wonderful, amazing, spectacular video. So let's get into it. Jed Williams stole his first AAA base of the 2025 season, and A.J. Ewing stole 3 bases in a Binghamton win to bring his 2025 total to 65 stolen bases across 3 levels. He has exploded onto the scene. He's gone from a guy they drafted him a couple years ago, and he's just done a great job this year. And in Indianapolis, the Syracuse Mets lost 12-9. Jet Williams went 1 for 3 with a stolen base, 2 walks. Luke Ritter went 1 for 4 with a run scored, a home run, and an RBI. Jared Young went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, and a .964 OPS. Jet Williams walked twice and stole his first AAA base, but has seen his OPS drop sharply since his hot start, hoping to do a long season. Syracuse had 5 home runs on Sunday. Ryan Clifford was placed on the temporary inactive list. Wonder what happened there. Brandon Sproat, who pitched in relief, by the way, went 3 2/3 innings, gave 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. At some point, I think the Mets are going to be calling him up. I think they want to put him in the bullpen, just give him a feel for what he has to deal with. Brandon Sproat had a rough outing in his first relief appearance, allowed 4 runs in his first inning of work behind 2 walks, a wild pitch, and an error. Sproat was extremely hittable and susceptible to the stolen base, with 4 of the 5 Indians' stolen bases occurring while he was on the mound. The Binghamton Rome Ponies defeated the Portland Sea Dogs 12-10. A.J. Yoon went 3 for 5 with a double, 3 runs scored, 3 stolen bases, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. His OPS 895, double A. Nick Morabito went 1 for 5 with a run scored, a stolen base. He's got 41 stolen bases on the year. Jacob Bremer went 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored, a home run, 3 RBIs. His OPS 857. Chris Swerro went 2 for 4 with 1 run scored, an RBI, and a walk, and his OPS is 714. DH Kevin Parada went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, a home run, an RBI. A.J. Yoon ran wild on the Sea Dogs, notching 3 stolen bases and scoring 3 runs. Yoon has proven to be the catalyst for the Binghamton offense. Every Romo pony had a hit, and only Nick LaRusso didn't score a run. On the pitching side, Felipe De La Cruz pitched 3 innings, gave 1 hit, 1 run, earned 5 strikeouts and a home run. Ryan Lambert pitched an inning, struck out 2. Lambert is on a heater in August, striking out 11 batters while only allowing 3 hits. Felipe De La Cruz has had an up-and-down season, but displayed his promising stuff on Sunday with solid results. He has walked 0 batters in August with 11 strikeouts over 7 2/3 innings. Wow, that's pretty good. The Brooklyn Cyclones lost to the Aberdeen Ironbirds 3-1. Boston Barrow went 0 for 3. Eli Serrano went 1 for 4. Ronald Hernandez went 1 for 3. Trace Wilhoit went 1 for 4. Brooklyn had 4 hits with 3 going for extra base hits. Ronald Hernandez has had a hit in 6 of his last 9 games. After having a strong month as a professional in July, Boston Barrow has slumped, slashing 173 in August. Right-handed pitcher Haas Brewer pitched an inning, gave a hit, 1 unrun run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. The St. Lucie Mets defeated the Palm Beach Cardinals 8-1. Mitch Voigt went 1 for 4 with a run scored, a double, and RBI, 2 strikeouts. Left fielder John Bay went 1 for 3, a home run, a run scored, 3 RBIs. He is now in Brooklyn. He was promoted on Monday. Davison Gutierrez, the catcher, went 1 for 3 with a double and RBI. First baseman Randy Guzman went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, a court steal, and 1 strikeout. Antonio Jimenez went 2 for 4 when he scored 2 runs, and he had a walk. Mitch Voigt has had a lot of swing and miss in his game, and is not a sustainable approach for success. Joel Lara pitched 4 innings, gave 1 walk, and struck out 4. So this is what happened on Sunday, and all the action in the minor leagues for the Mets. So let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe. I'll see you later. Well, welcome back to the Prospect Hub. We talk about Mets prospects here, and of course, there was actually something that happened really big in Syracuse. I wanted to get to this first because I usually do the day after. Like for today's Sunday, you go over the action that happened on Saturday, but I wanted to go through this one game very briefly. A performance that was not a good performance by a big Met prospect. Now the Mets, of course, as you know, brought up Nolan McClean in these 2-0 his first 2 Major League starts. He pitched well against the Mariners last week and pitched really well against the Braves on Friday. Really did a great job. And there's talk that the Mets are thinking about calling up Jonah Tong, who had a big night Saturday night in Syracuse, and he is dominating minor league baseball. He's got the most strikeouts in minor league baseball right now for a pitcher. But there's another pitcher that is on the radar, and that's Brandon Sproat, who usually, today was his day to start, but the Mets used him later in the game. Came in the 2nd inning. And what's interesting is he did not pitch well. I don't have all the details, but I got the numbers here And this is in Syracuse. The Mets lost 12-9. Syracuse Mets lost 12-9 to the Indianapolis Indians. And unfortunately, he didn't pitch well. And 3 2/3 innings, he gave up 7 runs, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. It's not good. And the Mets brought him in relief because they wanted to see how he would perform in relief, because I think they're kind of thinking about calling him up to New York in the next few weeks. And I think they wanted to get his feet wet to bring him in the middle of a game. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if the Mets are going to do that long term. They're going to do that long term, I wouldn't think. But I think they want to put him in the bullpen. I think they should just start him and put Clay Holmes in the bullpen, in my opinion. But he has been sort of up and down over the last 3 or 4 starts. He hasn't pitched nearly as well. And obviously he didn't pitch well on Sunday. But that's, I just wanted to get you out. I'll have more about this thing, about the way he pitched on Monday for you. I want to get back here, but after work. But here is from Mets and Rise. This is from Saturday. Mets minors recap. Tong dazzles in second AAA start. Now, before I get into this video, please hit the subscribe button. Jonah Tong dazzled in the second outing for AAA Syracuse, firing 6 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts. The 22-year-old right-handed pitcher has now racked up 11 scoreless frames and 17 strikeouts across his first 2 AAA starts. So he's complete total domination. Mike Puma of the New York Post reported before the game that Tong has entered the conversation for a potential 2025 call-up. A full breakdown of that report. We don't need to see about that. That doesn't matter. So on Saturday, the Syracuse Mets defeated the Indianapolis Indians 4-0. Jet Williams went 1 for 5. He's gotten off to a slow start in the AAA. Left fielder Jared Young went 3 for 4. Ali Sanchez, who Mets recently resigned because they need some catching help, went 1 for 4. Williams finally snapped an 18 at-bat hit drought with a knock, although he swung at the first pitch in 3 of his 5 trips. He also opened the bottom of the first with a 100-mile-per-hour out to third base. So Jonah Tong pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. It was once again the Tong show in Syracuse, and he was pitching at home, and the place was going crazy the way he's been pitching. The right-handed pitcher dominated through 6 innings, piling up 21 swings, and misses with 63 of his 88 pitches going for strikes. Wow! So he only gave up 25. He only threw 25 balls in this game. This is a kid that was walking the ballpark 2 years ago. He had a walk rate over 6. And he's cleaned that all up. His fastball topped out at 97.6 miles per hour. Flame-throwing reliever Dylan Ross followed with 2 scoreless frames. Both Tong and Ross are making their cases to push for a call-up to the big leagues. I would mention I'd like to see Ross as opposed to Brazelban, who they called up yesterday, which is just, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Just get him out of here. He made me so nervous. I know they lost the game anyway, but having him pitch made me very nervous. And don't have to worry about standing pitching and everything else. That's not good. The Portland Sea Dogs defeated the Binghamton Rowan Ponies 8-2. A.J. Yoon went 2 for 4. Jacob Reimer went 2 for 3. He hit a home run on Sunday. Catcher Kevin Parada went 1 for 4. He also hit a home run on Sunday. It was a rough day offensively for Binghamton, who squandered multiple chances with runners in scoring position. They loaded the base with 2 outs in the first before Parada struck out on 3 pitches. Parada laid battled through a 7-pitch at-bat in the 5th, with men on second and third, but came up empty again. One of the lone bright spots was third baseman Jacob Reimer, who posted another multi-hit effort. He's now batting .283 with an .880 OPS and 6 extra base hits in August. He's had a very good year. A right-handed pitcher, Brendan Gurton, went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk. His ERA is 4.76. Right-handed pitcher Brian Metalor pitched an inning and struck out 2. The Rowan Ponies pitching staff had a rough day on Saturday. Starter Brendan Gurton exited after just 2/3 of an inning with an apparent injury. Oh, that's not good. And bulk reliever Daniel Juarez struggled in relief. And High A Brooklyn Colin Houck went 1 for 2. The former first-round pick and Houck had a fantastic day at the plate on a single to center in the 4th inning and grounded out a 9-pitch at bat in the 5th. Outside of Houck, however, Brooklyn's offense struggled, and the Aberdeen Ironbirds defeated the Brooklyn Cyclones 5-3. 3 players struck out at least 3 times, including slugger Trace Wilhoit, who had a golden sombrero. The Cyclones ended up going down on strikes a total of 14 times in the night. Gotta swing the bat, guys. Right-handed pitcher Will Watson pitched 6 innings, gave 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. His ERA on the season is 1.70. Watson extended his scoreless streak to 14 innings on Saturday, allowing just 1 hit over 6 strong innings. The Cyclones looked to have a solid 3-0 lead, but lefty Ryan Ammons struggled in relief, getting 4 earned runs in just 2/3 of an inning, including 2 walks. This is like the first time I've seen him ever get any runs, Ryan Ammons. I've been with the Mets organization for 2 years. The first time I've heard and read him giving up runs. Hunter Hodges followed and issued 3 consecutive free passes. Overall, the Cyclones combined for 5 straight walks in the 8th inning between Ammons and Hodges. Oh boy! And St. Lucie Mets lost to the Palm Beach Cardinals 6-1. Mitch Voigt went 0 for 4 for walking the stolen base. The Mets' 2025 first-round pick continued his struggles on Saturday. Pitchers have been attacking him with 2 low breaking balls and sky-high heaters. He hasn't made the necessary adjustments yet. He also committed an error in the field. St. Lucie managed just 1 run, and the lineup struck out a combined 16 times. Left-handed pitcher Davio Hurtado pitched 4 innings, gave 4 hits, 2 runs, 0 earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. And Mets Rise has him ranked as number 27th overall in the Mets farm system. But the big news here is what happened on Sunday, and that's with Brandon Sproat did not pitch well. He didn't pitch, pitched 3 2/3 innings. That's not great. He gave a ton of runs, and I don't know if that's such a good idea. The Mets having him come out of the bullpen, but you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later. Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. As you know, the Mets have called up Jonah Tong. He's going to pitch on Friday. I might miss some of that game, unfortunately, but I'll be able to follow along, a little bit. And of course, on Wednesday, they're going to pitch Nolan McClean against the Phillies. So we're starting to see the sort of the machinations of all the hard work of the Mets farm system over the last few years. Mets have not traded any major prospect since the Javi Baez deal. So that's 4 years of just collecting prospects and developing, guys. And it is now starting to pay off. ESPN put out a new list of the top farm systems in baseball, and the Mets surprisingly are number 1. I was surprised. I think MLB.com had them at number 7, but to see them so high, it'd be interesting to see. Interesting where other publications have them. Baseball America was always the number 1 publication when it came to farm systems. I'd like to see where they're at. A few, I don't know when they're going to put it out, but this from SNY.TV. Headline: Mets farm system ranked number 1 in MLB on an updated ESPN top 30 list. New York system is full of high-end talent that's close to the majors, and we're starting to see them up now. And you're starting to see the results of the Mets farm system with the emergence of Brett Beatty playing well, Mark Vientos coming around again. I would think that Ronnie Mauricio will probably get sent down to the minors once Jose Siri is back and once Jesse Winker is back for the stretch run. Dave Stearns placed a huge emphasis on the Mets drafting and development when he took over as the president of baseball operations. And before the team was viewed as a serious contender, Stearns was smartly reluctant to part with any of New York's most valued prospects via trade. The result, a few years into Stearns' tenure, is that the Mets farm system is now viewed as one of the very best in baseball. And on ESPN's new top 30 list, the Mets system is ranked number 1. Huge credit should go to former general manager Billy Epler and company, who helped assemble this system. Billy Epler is an unsung hero because of all the prospects he brought in after he came in as general manager. didn't do a great job in terms of bringing in pitching for the major league team, but he did a great job throughout the whole system. And his trades and his drafting was spot on, and we're starting to see it now. After being ranked number 9 before the season, New York has made the jump to the top of the list due to, in part, of the amount of potentially high-impact prospects who are close to the majors. Writes ESPN's Kylie McDaniel. At this time next year, I'd expect 6 of New York's top 8 prospects, if not more, have either graduated or be up in the big leagues to stay. So this ranking won't last very long, but that's also because the Mets will have a roster teeming with useful big leaguers, the whole reason this list exists. Other prospects McDaniel is added to above. Nolan McClean is about to make his 3rd big league start. We talked about that. While fellow right-handers Brandon Sproat and Jonah Tong, was being promoted on Friday. Sproat and Tom, both currently with AAA Syracuse, could debut before the season's over. That's a possibility with Sproat. On the position player side, outfielder Jet Williams and outfielder Carson Bench were recently promoted to Syracuse. They've gotten up to sluggish starts, and Bench got hurt, so he's on the injured list. The expectation is Williams and Bench will have both debut during the 2026 season. And Jet Williams got off to a slow start. He played AAA last year, but he's got off to a bit of a slow start this year. But he played really well in AA. We're going to be talking about a lot about him in spring training next year. I don't know where he's going to play yet, either second base or center field. I don't know yet. In addition to the aforementioned players, SNY's Mets top 30 prospect list is full of intriguing names. That list includes power hitting first baseman Brian Clifford, who people have compared since they brought him in from the Justin Verlander deal as a guy that could be like Lucas Duda power. Lucas Duda wasn't a bad player. Teenage shortstop Elian Pena, who absolutely got off to a bad start there in the Dominican Summer League, went over his first 24 or 25 or something like that, and then hit over 300, had an OPS over 900 from that point on. He's only 17 years old. They just signed him in January. I would expect him to come stateside for the Florida Complex League next year, and we'll see how he goes. Third baseman Jacob Reimer, a guy that was hurt last year, one of the many position players the Mets had that were on the injury list last year. He had a bad hamstring injury. He has had a big year. He had 3 home runs in Brooklyn back in May, I believe, and then he's been in Binghamton, and he's just raging hot in Binghamton right now. Outfielder A.J. Ewing, who's a guy that's come out of nowhere, a guy they drafted 2 years ago. And, of course, left-handed pitcher Jonathan Santucci from Duke University. They drafted him. David Stearns drafted him. But a couple of things. Nolan McClean was drafted by Billy Epler. Brandon Sproat was drafted by Billy Epler. Also Jonah Tong by Billy Epler. Jet Williams by Billy Epler. Carson Bench was drafted by, of course, David Stearns last year. Ryan Clifford was brought in from the Verlander trade with Drew Gilbert. Elian Pena was signed by David Stearns. I would mention David Stearns as a guy who signs these international players. He's also a guy that signed Jackson Chirinos in Milwaukee. So just keep that in mind. Jacob Reimer, another guy brought in by Billy Epler. A.J. Ewing brought in by Billy Epler. And, of course, Jonathan Santucci brought in by David Stearns. But you have a farm system, folks. They're going to start churning out guys. The Mets are not going to be as active as you would think going into the offseason. We'll see how this season finishes up. Maybe the Mets go to the World Series. Maybe they win the World Series. But I don't expect them to bring in a big player with all these young guys coming up to the system. It doesn't make any sense. I could see them re-signing Pete Alonso, re-signing Edwin Diaz, or letting them go. There's any number of things the Mets can do here, and they could still be a very good team next year. But that's next year. That's beyond. Right now is what they need right now at the major league level. They need to put the best team out there every day. McClean does that tonight. Tong will do that on Friday, and we'll take it from there. But the Mets farm system has been important because this team has needed their young players, particularly the guys that have been here, to really take hold of a job. Mark Vientos did not hit well at all most of the season up until the last few weeks. And, of course, Brett Baty, same thing. He's had a very good August. And these guys have finally stepped up. That's a big thing. And to step up in a big spot. Stepping up in August in a stretch run is very important. And now we're about a few days away from September. If they keep this going, the Mets will win the wild card. If not, more, maybe try to get the division again. But to be #1 farm system is a big deal. We'll see where they get ranked once we start seeing some of these guys get called up to the major leagues, like the guys I mentioned. But the Mets have so much talent in the system now, so much pitching talent, which they have not had in a very long time, not like 10 years. So the pitching talent is coming up through the system. Mets have been bringing in a lot of players, everyday players, position players that are on the everyday roster. Pete Alonso, we have Michael Conforto for a few years, Jeff McNeil. But these other guys, the pitching was a thing that they didn't have a lot of. So they developed, and again, I haven't mentioned this, Jonah Tong is a major player development win because 2 years ago he was walking the ballpark. This is a kid that was from Canada. He moved from Canada to Florida so he could get drafted by a team. The Mets drafted him in the 7th round in 2022. And he's a guy that really has developed so greatly over the last few years. From where he cut the walks down last year. Now he is the best. The best. And the #1 prospect in terms of being on the mound. The best pitching prospect in baseball. That's things I've been reading over the last few days. Is that Jonah Tong is the best pitching prospect in the game. So the Mets have really come a long way in the last 2 years. Really 3 years. But and Billy Epler, the unsung hero to all this, because he brought in a lot of these guys. And the Mets have had a lot of flux in terms of general manager since 2017. They've had guys coming in and out of here. But Billy Epler really put a stamp on himself. And we're going to be talking about these players now for a long time if they get to the majors and they perform well and do a good job. And we can all say he did a good job when he was here for the 2 years that he was here. So you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later. Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hut. We're going to go through the Mets weekly report. And really, this was a big week because the Dominican Summer League ended. And we've had some rather interesting performances by those kids down there. And that's what they are, kids. But before we get into this video, I need you to hit the subscribe button. Of course, like this video. Let me know what you think. This is from Mesmerized. Elian Pena flashes first. Elian Pena finishes in a flash his first pro season. The DSL coming to an end this past week. Top international prospect. Elian Pena is officially done with his first professional season. His season started in the worst way imaginable, going 0 for 26, but he rebounded in a huge way. His final numbers were outstanding as he finished with a slash line of .292 at batting average, .421 slugging on base percentage, wow, .528 slugging percentage for a .949 OPS with 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 21 stolen bases. The 17-year-old has a bright future in the Mets organization and will look to keep the momentum going in 2026 when he could be playing stateside. I would say he will be playing stateside because they're going to want to challenge him. He's got a good left-handed swing, too. AAA. Syracuse Mets had a rough series against the Indianapolis Indians, dropping 4 of 6 games to lose the series. Mets have now dropped 2 consecutive series and are 33-18 in the second half and 64-62 overall. Ryan Clifford had his best week yet in AAA, going 5 for 13 with 2 home runs. Clifford maintains the minors home run lead with 26 and has an .840 OPS in 10 games with Syracuse. Jared Young also shined with a team-leading 9 hits and 18 at-bats. He recorded 3 doubles and 2 home runs as he raised his season OPS to .964. Jonah Tong's second start in AAA was nothing short of brilliant as he tossed 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. Tong has yet to allow a run in 11 2/3 innings or 2 starts since being promoted. So he's going to be pitching on Friday for the Mets against the Nationals. Against the Marlins. Tyler McGill impressed in another rehab start, allowing just a hit and a walk in 5 scoreless innings. He struck out 4 in the effort, and he continues to look good on the mound and his rehab. AA. The Binghamton Roan Ponies split their 6-game set with the Sea Dogs, being outscored 31-26. The Roan Ponies, like the Syracuse Mets, are also 33-18 in the second half and 78-40 overall. Jacob Reimer had an excellent week at the plate, going 8 for 17 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. He had 3 walks and a stolen base while driving a team-high 5 runs. Ryman has become very comfortable at the AA level now, owns an 857 OPS in 46 games. A.J. Yoon recorded a whopping 12 hits and 27 at-bats over 6 games this series, recording 5 doubles, 2 walks, and 4 stolen bases. Yoon's 5 runs were the most on the team as he raised his AA OPS to 895 over 12 games. Ken Parada had a strong series with the bat, going 6 for 20 with 2 doubles and a home run. Parada continues to provide optimism and a rebound season as he owns a 760 OPS on the year. Early in the season, his OPS were in the 400s. So to see that he's finishing up strong is a good start for him. And it's a real first success in professional baseball, as he's not a prospect anymore, I don't think. Just to see what the Mets do with him in the offseason. R.J. Gordon delivered one of his best starts this season, pitching 7 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts. It was just Gordon's 7th appearance in Binghamton. He owns a 3.29 ERA with the club. Jack Winger also provided a quality start, allowing 2 runs in 6 1/3 innings. Winger allowed 7 hits and a walk while striking out 7, so his ERA dropped to 2.73. Jonathan Santucci pitched just 5 innings in his start, but he didn't allow a run and struck out 3. Santucci has been brilliant in AA, on a 2.34 ERA and 7 starts, and obviously he's the Mets number 2 pick from last year from Duke University. High A Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Cyclones lost 4 of 6 games against the Aberdeen Ironbirds in the latest series. The Cyclones are now 22-32 in the second half and 68-52 overall. It was generally a rough week at the plate for Cyclones bats, but not for Trace Wilhoit, who has been consistently great all season, mostly for low A St. Lucie. Wilhoit went 5 for 16 with a double and a home run, the only long ball from Brooklyn in the series. He stole a base and scored 4 runs, raising his high A OPS through 10 games to 994. Colin Houck was the only other batter to have a respectable series, as he went 4 for 17 with a double and a triple. He also walked twice and drove in 2 runs. It's been a struggle for Houck since joining Brooklyn, and he has just a 574 OPS in 45 games for the team. Joel Diaz had the best start of the week for the Cyclones, tossing 7 scoreless innings with just a hit and a walk allowed. He struck out 6 and lowered his ERA on the year to 3.71. Will Watson also had scoreless outing, his over 6 innings, and it led to a promotion to AA at Binghamton. In Watson's start, he allowed just a hit, 2 walks with 5 strikeouts. In 14 games with Brooklyn, he owned a sparkling 1.70 ERA. Franklin Gomez was also impressive, allowing 2 runs, 1 earned over 5 innings with 7 strikeouts. Gomez has looked excellent since joining the Cyclones, recording a 1.96 ERA in 4 starts. Low A. St. Lucie Mets were the only Mets minor league affiliate to win their series this past week, taking 4 of 6 games from the Palm Beach Cardinals. The Mets are on fire in the second half with a 37-17 record to put them at 71-48. Undrafted free agent John Bay had a scorching week at the plate, earning him a promotion to High A Brooklyn. Bay went 10 for 20 with a double, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Bay has done nothing but hit since joining St. Lucie, and he leaves for Brooklyn with a 1057 OPS. Diverson Gutierrez had a good week at the plate, going 5 for 15 with 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 4 walks to no strikeouts. He scored 5 runs and raised his OPS for the year to 682. Channing Austin also looked good with 2 appearances and 1 start, which he tossed 3 scoreless innings. He allowed just a hit and a walk, also hitting a bat, and he struck out 2. Austin now has a 4.43 ERA in 19 games. And of course, here we have the DSL Mets. Both DSL squads played just 1 game this week as their season came to a close. The orange team won to improve to 31-25, while the blue team lost to drop to 19-37. And that's pretty much it. That's the story. Player of the week. On the offense, we had John Bay, an outfielder with St. Lucie. John Bay came out of seemingly nowhere for the St. Lucie Mets, signed as an undrafted free agent out of Austin, PA. Bay went 10 for 20 with a double, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs. The minute he joined the team, he hit, and now he's been rewarded with a promotion to the Brooklyn Cyclones. On the pitching side, Joel Diaz is not a notable prospect, on a 3.77 ERA professionally, including a 3.71 ERA this season. But his latest start was as dominant as you can get. He allowed just 2 base runs and no runs in 7 innings. By far his best outing of the year. So you let me know what you think about this video and what's going on in the Mets farm system. They have ranked number 1 by ESPN. So this is a major upgrading for this team and this franchise. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Big news for the Mets. They're going to be calling up their best pitching prospect, Jonah Tong. He's been considered over the last few weeks. I've been reading a lot of stuff about him, that he is the best pitching prospect in the game. ESPN has also put out a updated rankings for the farm systems. The Mets are considered to have the best farm system in the major leagues. And, of course, Jonah Tong is an example of the hard work the Mets have done over the last few years to improve the farm system and to make a pitcher that was a 7th-round pick 3 years ago by Billy Epler. And 2 years ago, he was walking the ballpark. He had 6 walks per 9 innings. To now, he is probably considered the top pitching prospect in the game. The report is, and Carlos Mendoza just said it a little while ago, he's going to start on Friday against the Marlins. So this is big news. So if you're not on X, you can see this. And of course, please follow me on Facebook and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Or just getting word of this now. I almost drove off the road. Hearing the news that the Mets put out there, and this is great news. This is one step the Mets are getting even better and not having to spend a lot of money. So that's good news. And thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hub. We talk about Mets prospects, and here's your daily update. We don't have too many more updates to give you. Got another month of Mets minor league baseball, but I'll get you as much content as I can here. But if you watch the video, I need you to watch the entirety of the video. This is from Tuesday's action. Jacob Reimer's on fire for Binghamton. Now, before we get into this video, hit the subscribe button. A lot of stuff's going on with the Mets minor leagues. As you know, Nolan McClean's in the Mets rotation. He's going to make his third start on Wednesday. And, of course, Jonah Tong is going to pitch on Friday for the Mets. And the Mets farm system has also been tapped as the number 1 farm system in baseball by ESPN. Mets have top prospects coming to the system. They're either AA, AAA. They're getting awfully close to the major leagues. They're going to help this team out in the near future. Probably all likely next year and the year after. On the night Jonah Tong earned his promotion to the big leagues, Mets farm system had more to celebrate, capped off by Nick Roselli's walk-off homer for the Brooklyn Cyclones. Jacob Reimer just keeps heading for AA at Binghamton. The Scranton Wilkes-Barre Club, and they didn't put the last name, defeated the Syracuse Mets 9-4. Jeb Williams went for 5. He's gotten off to a slow start since he got promoted. A double, an RBI, a walk. His OPS 592. Luis Angel Cooney went 2 for 4. Jarrett Young went 1 for 3. Jeb Williams walked twice and stole his first AAA base, but has seen his OPS drop sharply since his hot start. Syracuse had 5 home runs on Sunday. Ryan Cliff was placed on the temporary inactive list. I don't know what that means. Brandon Waddell pitched 5 innings, gave up 5. It screwed up the whole thing here. Anyway, since returning from the injured list, Waddell has struggled, giving up at least 2 earned runs in every outing since rejoining Syracuse. The Binghamton Realm Ponies defeated the Somerset Patriots 8-1. Chris Suaro went 2 for 3 with a double, an RBI, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. His OPS 748. They screwed the way they wrote this, so screwy. DeAndre Smith went 3 for 5. Interesting about him. I don't know much about him. He's not a ranked prospect. You're just going to see he makes to the major leagues. That tells you the strength of the Mets farm system. Because he's had a very good year. 2 runs scored, a double, and RBI. Jacob Reimer went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. His OPS 867. Jacob Reimer delivered his second straight 3-hit game, driving in 2 runs to push his OPS 867. The 21-year-old has emerged as one of the standouts in the Mets system this season. Reimer is hitting .512. Wow. For .574 on-base percentage, .927 OPS. They screwed this whole thing up, the way they wrote this. With 4 home runs and 12 RBIs in his last 11 games. I would say to take some of these numbers with a grain of salt. This is poorly written. A.J. Ewan had 2 hits in the game, raising his AA OPS 886 in 13 games. Ewing was ESPN's updated top 100 MLB prospects at number 74, and Reimer was in the next 10 group. R.J. Gordon pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, earned 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Gordon has been a model of consistency between Brooklyn and Binghamton this year, posting ERAs of 3.06 and 3.13. The Oregon product boosts solid strikeout stuff, 10.1 Ks per 9 innings, below walk rate at 3.5 walks per 9. That's not that low. It's just not that low. Anything under 3 is low. 3.5 is average at best. The Brooklyn Cyclones defeat the Hudson Valley Renegades on a walk-off. Nick Roselli went 2 for 3 with a 2-run home run, a double, 4 RBIs. Colin Houck went 2 for 3 with 2 runs and RBI. Marco Vargas went 2 for 4 and to turn the lead in the 8th and failing to their final out. Boy, oh boy. The Cyclones rallied with a single and a walk before Nick Roselli capped it with a walk-off 3-run home run. Brent Bakes pitched an inning, gave 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. In Low A, the St. Lucie Mets defeated the Lakeland Flying Tigers 5-4. Randy Guzman went 1 for 4 with a home run and RBI. Mitch Voigt went 1 for 4, and there is a highlight reel of Mitch Voigt making all these unbelievably disgusting plays. I mean, just sick plays all over the field. It's amazing. Had a double, run scored, a stolen base. That's number 3 pick from this year. Antonio Jimenez went 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Trey Schneider went 1 for 1. Guzman has torched Low A pitching this season, slashing .317 with 964 OPS and 11 extra base hits. Right-handed pitcher Luis Alvarez pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave a hit, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Now, of course, please like this video and subscribe to the Prospect Hut. This was a poorly written update for you. Oh my goodness, so much information left out. But big night was for Jacob Reimer, and of course we had a walk-off with Nick Roselli, and Mitch Voigt had a lot of highlight reels. Had a lot of highlight plays in the game on Tuesday. He's not gotten off to a good start with the bat, but he's gotten off to a great start with the glove. So he is a guy to keep an eye on. He could go to the Mets system very quickly because he was in college at a big program in Michigan. But you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later. Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hut, and here's the Mets update on what happened on Wednesday. This is the Mets Minor Leagues. This is the Mets Minor League channel. It's from Mesmerized. Jacob Reimer did it again. But what did he do? Well, it's funny you should ask. Jacob Reimer and A.J. Ewing continue to be 2 of the best players in the AA Eastern League, despite being there for only a couple of weeks on their promotion from High A. Now, the one thing about the Mets Minor Leagues, a couple of things. They were named by ESPN as the #1 farm system in baseball. The best pitching prospect is going to be pitching for the Mets on Friday. That's Jonah Tong. And Nolan McClean is just kicking ass. The Cowboys kicking ass in the way he's been pitching. And the Mets have a whole bunch of guys that are getting very close. Again, very, very close to the major leagues. Let's start in Syracuse. The Scranton-Wilkes-Barre, whatever the name is, defeated the Mets 6-1. Jet Wins went 0 for 4. He had a home run on Thursday night, you mentioned. Carson Bench went 1 for 4. His OPS, since he was promoted, 618. Luis Angel Acuna went 1 for 3 for an RBI. Ryan Clifford went 1 for 3 for a double and a walk. His OPS, 833. So he's done a good job since he's gone to AAA. He was on the restricted list for a couple of days. I don't know why. Carson Bench was also hurt, so he missed some time. The Mets got great news with center field prospect Carson Bench returned to the lineup after a short IL stint. It's also supposed to be a good night for Francisco Alvarez, but he got hit, on the hand, and he fractured his left pinky. It'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with him, how long he'll be out. Right-handed pitcher Justin Hageman pitched 4 in the 3rd innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts to his ERA 6.12. Both Richard Lovelady, who pitched a 1/3 of an inning and 1 in the 3rd innings, and Dylan Ross pitched 2 innings, had scoreless as for the Syracuse bullpen Ross had held AAA hitters to a 447 OPS over his last 20 games. Keep an eye on him. He might get a call up in September. We'll see. Double-A, the Somerset Patriots defeated the Binghamton Rome Ponies. That's the Yankees of Double-A affiliate. Chris Sproat went 0 for 2 with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. His OPS in the season in Binghamton is 745. Jacob Reimer went 2 for 4 with a home run, a double, 2 RBIs. His OPS 893. It's all at Double-A, and he had a great year in Brooklyn. Center fielder A.J. Yoon went 2 for 4 with stolen base and a run scored. His OPS 893 as well. Reimer's hitting .512 with 5 home runs and 14 RBIs in his last 12 games. 21-year-old has 17 home runs and 71 RBIs this season. 109 games between Brooklyn and Binghamton. He's got a chance to be a really good everyday player. It was a 7th straight multi-hit game for Ewing, and he's hitting .500 with 5 stolen bases during that span. The top 100 prospect is up to 55 steals for the season. Wow. He's just dominated. A left-handed pitcher, Jonathan Santucci, pitched 4 1/3 innings. He had 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. He's got an ERA of 3.00. Righties Ben Simon pitched an inning in 2/3. Jordan Gieber pitched an inning, and Ryan Lambert pitched an inning with 2 strikeouts for Binghamton. The hard-throwing Lambert had a 1.96 ERA and 55 strikeouts and 36 and 2/3 innings for Binghamton. He was the Mets draft pick last year. We're going to be talking a lot about him in spring training. That's for sure. In Brooklyn, the Cyclones defeated the Renegades 8-7. 8-7. Colin Houck went for 3 for an RBI, a walk, a stolen base to a 596 OPS. Boston Barrow went 3 for 5 with an RBI, 2 walks, 2 stolen bases, and he's got 28 on the season. And he's got a 603 OPS. Marco Vargas went 1 for 5. He also had 2 stolen bases. He's got 37 on the year. John Bay went 1 for 2 with a home run and 3 RBIs. A lot of Met players, unsigned draft picks, have been going crazy in St. Lucie and in Brooklyn. Bay Suns, an undrafted free agent, has a 1,108 OPS and 6 stolen bases in his first 19 pro games between St. Lucie and Brooklyn. Houck has an 838 OPS in August after a disastrous start to his Brooklyn career. Oh, that's good, because he's another player that was a prospect. That's number 1 pick from 2 years ago, and you hope that maybe he can recapture his prospect status. I don't know. It's weird when players, you never hear of players coming back after they've lost their status. Irvin Coda pitched 5 innings. This is his Brooklyn debut. He had 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. The Lakeland Flying Tigers defeated the St. Lucie Mets 3-1. Jose Siri on a rehab assignment went 0 for 0 with a walk and a hit by pitch. Jesse Winker also do rehab, went 0 for 2, a strikeout. Mitch Foyt went 0 for 3 with a walk. Antonio Jimenez went 1 for 4. Jonathan Jimenez on the mound pitched 4 innings, gave 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and he's got an ERA on the season 1.77. Right-hander Jorge De Leon threw a perfect 9th inning with 2 strikeouts and was up to 99 miles per hour with his fastball. Rehabbing Oliver Ortega also tossed a scoreless inning. He's been hurt much of the season after signing a minor league deal. He has 45 games of major league experience. Interesting. Maybe we might see him coming up very soon. So let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you later.